know when you hear something that rocks your world and kind of makes you rethink everything that you thought you knew? That happened to me when I thought for many years, I thought that successful business owners were born that way. They were born into money, or they were, however it went, that's how they got to where they were. And somebody radically changed my perspective. And I actually want to offer that wisdom to you, just in case you feel stuck because you don't have what you think you should have. Grab a pen and paper. I'll see you on the other side. How much longer can you afford to wait before taking control of your time and finances? What would life look like with a passive income from an online business that you could build from anywhere? If you had the support and the resources to succeed, what kind of impact could you make for yourself and your family? On this podcast, you will find simple solutions to help you start and grow your own online business that will pay you daily, even when you are enjoying adventures with your loved ones. My mission is to equip you to be wealthy in both time and money with digital marketing skills, tips to overcome adversity, and steps to living out your purpose. If you are ready to say yes to a more rewarding and fulfilling life where you are making a bigger impact and transforming people's lives, then you're going to love this podcast. Hey, my name is Melanie. I'm a wife, a mother, and a blessed believer. I tried over the years many different side hustles to try and make a passive income and to live this life of freedom that everybody talks about. But what I finally realized is that I needed a step-by-step plan to keep me focused and consistent. I needed to link arms with others who were doing what I wanted to do. And now I'm excited to get to share with you what I'm learning. If you are ready to finally find freedom and own your own online business that helps you to never miss another family fun adventure and to make an impact while sitting on the beach, then this podcast is for you. So strap on your hiking boots and let's climb this mountain together. If you want to learn marketable skills that you can use to help you build a business or grow a current business that you already have, then you're going to want to hear about Melanie. She is a lady inside our community, and she posted that she made $2,500 in a week and a half, $900 today before the day even started. And what happened for her is that she learned how to use the right messaging to attract the people that were going to, want to hear from her. She didn't have to handhold. She didn't have to bug her friends and family. She simply followed the system, used these marketable skills, and has, like I say, earned $2,500 in a week and a half. How would that change your family? How would that change your finances? How would that change your impact? If you could just make $2,500 in a week and a half without sales calls, without rejection, without bugging friends and family, all because you had marketable skills and you learned how to use a system. If that's something that excites you and you want to know how that can be for you and that you could be that successful business owner that I was talking about, then come on over to dailypaidblessings.com. And again, that's dailypaidblessings.com. You'll get on my email list. You'll watch a couple of short videos to just explain how this all works, what it is, that kind of thing. And, I only send out emails maybe a couple of times a week. I don't bombard you with emails, but what happens is you can be actually find out if this is something that is for you or not for you. And if it's not for you, no big deal. All you do is unsubscribe from my email list. Done deal. But at least you know if this could truly change your life like it's doing for so many others. All right, remember, dailypaidblessing.com, and I'll see you there. Hey, friend, welcome back. So, what was it that they told me? What was it that this person told me that changed everything for me? Okay, so I'm going to backtrack a little bit. So I grew up really, really quite poor. There was 4 of us kids. My mom was a single mom was married to an alcoholic before that, and then was a single mom for most of my life after that. And so, there's just not a lot of money to go around, right? But so, I would look at people that were successful or that had, businesses, and I would think, wow, they must have money. They must have been born that way, or their parents gave them the business, or, I had all these preconceived ideas about how people become successful business owners. And I just thought it was never possible for me. It was never going to be possible for me because I did not come from the right side of the tracks. I did not have the right, whatever. I wasn't born with a, what's that saying? Born with a gold spoon in your mouth or whatever that saying is. I just thought that that was never me. I was never going to be able to do that. But for some reason, here's what I do. I go to school just like I was told, like I graduate, I go to college, I get a job at a vet clinic, and I'm thinking that I'm supposed to, that's how I'm supposed to get somewhere. But guess what? I never ever had enough money. Even as a single young person, I never had enough money. It just didn't pay all the bills usually. I was always stressed about money. And as I, got married and had babies and all that stuff, and I kept thinking, I can't be gone, because when I worked at the vet clinic, I drove for an hour one way to get to work and drove for an hour to come home. Plus, because I worked at a vet clinic, anytime there was anything that happened after hours, if I was still there, I was expected to stay until the work was done. So sometimes I wasn't getting home till like 8:00 at night, and I would leave by I think 6:30 or 7 in the morning, I remember, to get there by 8. And so for me, that was kind of, I kept thinking, I can't do that and have kids. Like, there's no way that I can do that and have kids. So what can I do? How can I contribute to my family income? How can I, help bring in some money while being at home with my babies? Because that was the most important thing to me. I wanted to be home with my babies. I didn't want to make those long treks into town to work at a vet clinic, to not have enough money. Remember what I said? And so that's when I started looking into, what does it take to work from home? What does it take to have a business? Like, what does that look like? And I got to tell you, and this was quite a few years ago. My kids are all grown up now. So this was a long time ago. I didn't have access to the internet the same way we do now. I didn't have a cell phone. Like, I had a little, phone that you have to punch in each letter, what were those? Flip phone. I had a flip phone. That's all I had. And so for me to look this up was a little bit different than it is for us today, obviously. I don't think there was podcasts then. I don't think so, or at least I didn't know about it. But anyway, so it was a lot harder to build a business back then. But what I learned is the first place that I went to, I saw an ad in a newspaper, and it was talking about, working from home and, blah, blah, blah. And it was a health product. It was a network marketing company. And so I got started with them. I had no idea about business. Nothing. But I knew that I wanted my life to look different. And so, fast forward to where I am today, and it's been quite an amazing journey. And that's why I really want to share what I've learned, just because I want it to help you the way that I was helped, right? And so when I went to a business conference, because again, that was, when you're in network marketing, that's the cool thing about network marketing, is that they really push these events. They really push investing in yourself and learning things, right? And so I had paid money. This wasn't a part of that particular company. It wasn't a part of that. It was something that I'd done on my own. Gone to this business conference, read this lady's book, and thought, I need to learn from her. I want to go to this thing. And what she told me is that entrepreneurs are made, not born. And I was like, wow, seriously? Wow, tell me more about that. And so that's where I kind of started the whole, that really radically changed my life, because now, instead of me believing that these successful people had everything given to them and that's how come they were successful, and so then only a smaller portion of people could actually get there, instead of believing that, I had to reframe my entire belief system about what it meant to be successful, how to get there, what that looked like. And the one thing that really stood out for me is that when you spend time with successful people, you actually hear about the problems that they had, but that's not all. You hear about how they solved the problem. Whereas when you hang out with unsuccessful people, many times all you hear about is the problem. Nobody tries to find a solution. So that was one of the biggest things that stood out for me, is that successful entrepreneurs will always look for the solution. Okay, the problems arise for everybody, right? There's hard things, life happens, things go crazy. But the thing about successful people is that they're like, how can I fix this? How can I take what I learned in that and put it here? How can I make this better, right? And that, I think, is a huge thing about being an entrepreneur, because if we don't have that drive to find the solution, then we will always stay stuck. And I don't think we have to stay stuck. Like, totally, I really don't believe that we have to stay stuck. I believe that there is more than enough education or knowledge or wisdom out there to help us to move forward. And so the other thing that I learned is, and I kind of mentioned this, is that successful people, they know they have to learn new skills. Like I just mentioned that. They know that they have to, and they're willing to invest in themselves because they have to learn the skills in order to do the thing, in order to be successful. So that was a big thing. So you want to hang out with successful people. So you want to get into a community or something where people are more successful than you. Because here's the thing, if we get caught up in somebody else's success and we start to judge them or judge what their success level is, and I've been there before. I've had to be set free from that. I've had to ask God to clean my heart about that as well, because that judgment will keep us stuck. So judging someone else's success and like, oh, look at them, like they think they're all that. That kind of attitude will definitely keep us stuck. So you want to be aware of where like our own strengths and our weaknesses are. And the places that we are weak, we need to learn new skills. We have to get better. We have to improve. We have to be able to find the solution to the problem. They become really teachable. That's the other thing about successful people. And I had to learn this too. This was a tough one for me. And I'm still learning this one, actually, to be totally honest. I think I alluded to this a little bit on my last podcast, but, I do these divine business meetings with God every morning where I kind of sit with him and go, okay, like, what's your heart for this? Or, what do you want me to know about that? Or what do you want me to do with this kind of thing? Right. And it's come up a few times. I was just reading through my journal and it's come up a few times about me not being teachable. And I'm like, what do you mean? I am teachable. I'm so teachable, but I'm not sometimes. Sometimes we can get our own little, idea in our head about what we think we should be or how it should go. And we don't think we have to be teachable. But get this, I want to read something to you. So in this book, it's First Steps to Wealth. I love this book. It says, so in order to be teachable, it means that we are hungry enough to pursue success, being willing to learn from masters and putting aside your ego for your success. So it takes failure to bring people to a place of being teachable in a lot of instances. If we're really, really good at something, we can sort of become unteachable very easily. We'll be like, I know that already. I don't need to listen to you. So it's the failure, unfortunately, that brings us back to a place of being humble and a place of going, okay, I need some help. I need someone to help me. And what she says here is, she says, once people have a little bit of success, they figure they have the rest dialed until they fail again. So they go on this roller coaster. Some of them never get off the roller coaster to be teachable. So it says staying teachable is hugely important. So you continue to evaluate yourself and stay on the right track. Very, very important, right? Like we have to continue to look at what our results are. I've kind of been one of those people that, like, I don't know if you know analytics or, if you've never had a business yet, then you may not know what I'm talking about, because I definitely didn't know what that was when I first started to hear that word, like analytics. What in the world? So if you have a website or if you have like a podcast or if you post on social media, there are analytics that are connected, right, to each of those things. And it's really important for us to look at that stuff, because we can only improve by looking at what is working and being aware of what is not working. So I just thought I'd share that with you. And did I mention surrounding yourself with successful people? I don't know if I did, but that's another big key. You want to surround yourself with successful people. You want to be a part of a community that is wiser and more successful than you. And then the last one there that you want to do is you have to make a decision. At some point, in order to be a successful entrepreneur, you have to make a decision. You're going to go all in, you're going to commit 100% to this thing, and you're going to do it. And then you have to take action, because there's huge power in decision. Everything in life boils down to our choices. So when we finally make a choice, everything kind of begins to click together. When we draw that line in the sand, I think you heard me might talk about this on my last podcast. Whenever we put, whatever we put into our heart, something that we truly desire, we start to move in that direction. That is something called the law of decision. And another really amazing thing is that when we sit with indecision, so we like when we sit in it, we sit in that indecision, we don't get clear on what we're supposed to do. Guess what happens? We invite procrastination, fear, unbelief, and excuses into our life. Now, none of those things can give us success. Procrastination, fear, unbelief, or excuses. Did you know what an excuse is? It's a well-planned lie. The first time I heard that rocked my world too. I was like, what? What? No, what are you talking about? But it's true. Every time I look back in my life, through my business journey or just relationships or whatever, whenever there's an excuse, when I truly look at that excuse, it is just a lie, usually. Yep, I think I've seen it every time. Because there are people that are doing the thing that I think that I can't do, usually with less than what I have. Does that make sense? This is something that like when you look at these videos of people that have, like, what's his name? Nick Vujicic or whatever his name. I can't pronounce his last name, but he's got no arms and no legs. He's got the little stub on the bottom of his body, and that's all. And this man has skydived. This man has children. This man he speaks and he travels all over the world. And then you think, okay, so what's my reason? Like, how can that make me think that my excuse is actually valid? Because he's taken that excuse and he's slamming it way out of the park. So excuses are never going to get us anywhere. So when we finally make the decision to do the thing and go all in, we have to take action. And that's where it's really important to know what action to take, right? Like, okay, I'm going to take action, but what if I don't have any idea what I'm doing? That's why I love our community, because we have mentoring, we have, so there's a community of people that are way more successful than I am, making 6 figures, 7 figures, even 8 figures inside of our community. And I need to surround myself with those kinds of people, because I obviously want to get better. And so inside of our community, we're learning all of these things. We're surrounding ourselves with successful people. We are learning new skills. There's mentoring calls, there's training calls, there's all kinds of training videos. Everything for every skill you need for business is in there. And we also have accountability built in. Did you do this daily video thing? Did you do this, right? Like, people are asking, anytime you get on a mentoring call or any kind of call, it's like, okay, tell me, what are your actions? What are you doing? What did you do? You can't not be accountable. All of a sudden it's like, well, I didn't do that. Why didn't you do that? Because they know that it works. So that's what I know about being a successful entrepreneur is, that these people are not born. We as successful entrepreneurs are made, and that is made through decision, through action, through consistency, through learning, being teachable, all of these things. So my friend, I pray that this blesses you. And again, if you want to know, how a system can work for you, then come on over to dailypaidblessings.com and you will get a whole bunch of details there. Okay, my friend, take care, and I will see you next week. Thanks Thanks for listening. I pray that this episode blessed you. And if you do feel blessed, would you please share it with someone else who may need to hear this information? And also, if you could just take a couple of seconds and write a written review, I would absolutely appreciate it, because A, it lights me up, warms my heart to hear from you, but also it helps other people to find this podcast who may need this information. So I thank you, my friend. I'll be praying for you, and I look so forward to seeing you on the other side. Take care, and God bless.